What? Oh. Is it filming?
Yeah, no, we're. No, I mean we haven't started yet, but yeah, I have nobody to push the button for my back there. So
That's true. That's true. That's true.
get it on Twitter.
So that was all the B-reel footage for this week, guys.
That's it. Hello. And welcome to a very special episode. Black, white, and red all over. I'm not Victor Dandridge.
Neither am I, but I mean, long-time viewers of the show realize I'm Ryan, King of Comic Town, and this is our stunt double this week, Jeremy.
Yes, I'm Victor's body double. You'll notice the similar physique.
Mm-hmm.
Really.
Yeah, you won't notice.
It works.
Yeah.
We'll just kind of dub Victor in.
Just like
in front of
Photoshop him in. Yeah. That's like technology. Well, this week's an interesting week because most of our boxes have not arrived from Diamond yet. So it's Comic Town's turn on the Wheel of Pain again. But this week did have some pretty cool books that I'm actually excited to review. Like we got the new Harley book from Black Label, got Marvels, got Thor. So yeah,
we found some stuff to read. Yeah. I'd say, and some pretty good things to read too. So we made it work.
Very cool. So let's start off with the honorable mentions, and I like all of mine, but I'm curious about that one. Clock, because that's the second issue.
Yes.
Hawkins wrote it. So talk to us about that.
So yes, this is Clock number 2, Matt Hawkins, Colleen Doran from Image. Let's see, second issue. So the first issue, kind of sum it up, is humanity has been stricken, and over the course of 3 weeks, like hundreds of millions of people suddenly are infected with this major strain of cancer. Very aggressive, killing people, not just quickly. And there is a researcher who is kind of on the forefront of trying to figure out what's going on. And during the course of all this, he loses his wife to the strain of cancer, and his daughter starts getting sick, showing some of the symptoms. So it's kind of like a race against time to figure out what is going on, where did this come from. It's mimicking some things that they're used to seeing, some cancer markers and stuff, but it's just so aggressive, they're like, this isn't normal. And not to give too much away, but kind of what you're learning to see here is, like I said, he's at the forefront of everything. Mm-hmm. And you start to learn that there are some people that don't necessarily want him doing his job.
Interesting.
So you start to wonder why they don't want him to do his job. And this one, he's starting to put together the pieces of the puzzle, saying, there's some things that have happened recently that I'm not going to chalk up to coincidences. And again, he's racing the clock because he's already lost his wife and his daughter is showing signs. So he's fighting against some unknown forces to solve this, what is basically a worldwide issue. And he's definitely got an uphill battle against him. So it's definitely, there's no humor in this. I mean, this is very deadpan, serious, good thriller mystery style. I dug it. I think I'm definitely going to come back for issue 3, kind of see where they're going. And, we'll see how big of a conspiracy it truly turns out to be.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, as you all know, we're approaching Valentine's Day. And of the Valentine's Day one-shots that have come out this week, Napoleon Dynamite was actually the good one. I know it'll be hard to believe that a Transformers kind of romantic theme didn't work out.
I tried so hard.
Yeah.
And
it's Insecticons. Like, there's nothing romantic about Insecticons. But in this one, Napoleon Dynamite, it is, we've got Megan Brown as the writer, art and color by Christine Larson, designs and letters by Krista Meisner, assistant editor Riley Farmer, and editor is Tom Waltz. It is basically Napoleon trying to help Pedro get a Valentine's Day date in the ways only Napoleon can. His sweet skills that he tries to help Pedro acquire. No, it's it's so awkward and out of left field. Like, there's no way that you should ever use a chupacabra as like a way to gain romantic favors from somebody.
You're just not telling me this 3 days before Valentine's Day. I'm
Right.
gonna change like all my plans.
Yeah,
now.
I have to send it back. To the, does Amazon take returns? But yeah, it's really, really funny. If you're a fan of the movie, you'll love this. If you're just a fan of really, really awkward social interactions and like absurdist humor, I recommend this.
So that was my question. They do a good job of kind of relaying that awkwardness that
Oh my gosh, yeah.
made the movie so great.
Oh, yeah,
It's just the
yeah.
delivery and whatnot.
Yeah, you can't. As I'm reading it, you hear Napoleon's voice is exactly like that from the movie, like just the cadence and everything. So even the way they wrote the dialogue, just it flows perfectly like an extension of the movie. So
Very
two
cool.
thumbs up.
Speaking of awkward, I took on the one new series that every Marvel fan has been
Yeah.
waiting for. Gwen Stacy, #1. Why?
I don't know. I don't know. It's one of those I saw in the catalog, and I'm just looking at it. I'm like, are they gonna like give her like a cool backstory that we?
No. I mean, I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. I don't get it. I don't get what they're trying to. They're trying to make her into something that she's not. They're attempting to give her some substance and everything in the world pre-Gwen and Peter meeting. And there's a lot of references. It's apparent that Spider-Man is in this world. You see things in the background on TV.
Yeah.
They mention a rival high school and they talk about Flash Thompson. So there's a lot of references to the universe we're used to. But at the same time, they're trying to make her into something we don't know her as typically being.
Yeah.
And it just comes across as really forced to me.
Because it's like Christos Gage is writing it, so like he's a name you can typically trust.
I just didn't get, like, I could see it. I could maybe see myself getting into it if it wasn't Gwen.
Okay.
But, like, I just feel like they're shoehorning this substance into this character that doesn't need to be there. So, it'll be curious to see. I mean, I don't want to spoil too much, but they're trying to make her into something comparable to some other non-superheroes.
Okay.
But I don't know. It doesn't work as a character for me. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see where it goes.
It's an interesting choice. I don't know. One of those type titles that I had kind of the same sort of vibe on when it initially was solicited was Nebula. Let's see, where are my creators? And it's one of those characters that, based on the movie and different iterations of her, I always felt like she was more of a background character. But this one was kind of interesting. She has found out that there is a device that she believes can help her tell the future, and it kind of does. It gives her a decision tree of like different options. Like if I want to throw my Mountain Dew bottle at the camera, like the different ways to do it, and so you can have a best guess as to what will work the best. All right, so we got Vida Alia, the writer, Claire Rowe, artist, Mike Spicer, colorist. Mike, love your work. VC's Travis Lunham is the letterer. Jen Bartel did the main cover. The cover that we got from our one box was the Scotty Young cover. And so Nebula's got this device, and it doesn't go anywhere near what she thought would happen. The way her brain processes the flood of information is, as much as you would expect if you saw every infinite option. And it ends up where she loses her memory. And I'm curious to see where it goes from there. Like, is Nebula's personality as Thanos' daughter something that's hardwired? Will she still be a bad person with no memories, or will she try to rebuild a different life? Will her choices from her past come back to haunt her and on this new place? I think it's really, really cool. I believe it's a miniseries, so we don't have to worry about issue 24. Like, well, I ran out of steam, so they can just tell this story. And I was actually really, really pleasantly surprised by it.
I was going to say, it was one of those ones where, like you said, looking at it, I'm like, why did they need to do this for this character? But I kind of like what you're saying they're setting up, the idea of digging into how is it hardwired? I mean, what is the true person if there is someone still inside that body? So that sounds very cool.
Pretty interesting. Yeah, I dug it. Now, This is the one. So it's Black Label. It's an R, R rating. Harley and the Birds of Prey. So we got Amanda Conner, we got Jimmy Palmiotti, and Paul Mounts. The book is visually stunning. Connor's work is just iconic for this character. This is definitely. Like, I've got daughters, and they've been fans of Harley their entire lives. I've known them their entire lives, and I know that's not 100% true. But this is not a book for the kids. Like, not even close. There is some language. It earns its rating there.
Some language. There's definitely some visual flair, if you will.
Yes.
Although I'll admit, I was expecting it to go a little further with the visual flair, but I think they do more with what they hint at.
Mm-hmm.
Because some of the visuals, I mean, there's so much to soak in on this page.
Alone. Like
so,
a slight turn in this one direction, you might see something a whole lot different.
Well, then you begin to question why some things are where they are and how they were used the night before, possibly.
Yeah. So it's like there's definitely some tongue-in-cheek stuff that, like, you don't see, like, you know what you're supposed to see, but you don't.
They leave it up to you to fill in some of the blanks.
Yeah, but yeah, it's real good. Harley is behind on her mortgage to a loan shark in Gotham, and she decides she's going to go to Gotham to right some wrongs and to pay that mortgage back.
Yeah, in one way or another.
Yeah, so it's got violence, it's got Joker because Joker's in Gotham.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, definitely. It was really funny. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I love that they definitely went more for the humor.
Yeah.
Than they did the violence, which anytime I see Black Label, that's what I'm always afraid of, that it's going to be just a kind of a shock and awe type book. Yeah. But they definitely did more on the humor side of it, and it's really exactly how I'd expect Harley to be. Kind of that crude, no filter type personality. Yeah. Where even others are looking at her like, did you really just say that?
Yeah, like definitely.
But that's not to say that violence isn't there, because there's definitely some
because there's the catapult.
There's the catapult.
Yeah. There, the improvised weapons that she has on the train.
Absolutely. I go back to the catapult because I don't think catapults are supposed to do the physical damage that one did.
No, not
to
at all.
Those involved.
Yeah.
But it did it.
Yeah.
All right.
So it was really solid. So I recommend definitely checking those all out. And I guess now we go on
to the acrylic. So what do we have? Two the same and then one
we got
difference.
Yeah. And that was all right. So that's the Ghost Rider.
Okay, so this is Spirit of Ghost Riders, Spirit of Ghost Rider, Mother of Demons. Yeah. And this one is basically it's about one of your favorite. Mephisto is quite
You're misnopping. You
pretty heavily featured, but basically following the events, I believe it was, of Damnation, Mephisto has been trapped on Earth by Doctor Strange and Wang, and they basically send Ghost Rider to sit on his throne in the meantime until Strange figures out what to do with him. In the meantime, Lilith takes it as her chances. She sets her eyes on the throne, but now she's got to unseat Ghost Rider. And the problem is, though, Ghost Rider, the longer he's down there, the stronger he's getting. And that's Johnny who's down there, because it's going to come into play that she then, in order to safeguard herself, starts to go at other potential Ghost Riders that could serve. In order to do what she needs to do, she has to make sure Mephisto's not coming back. So she wants to be sure that Ghost Riders, either in hell or on Earth, are not going to stand in her way. But she'll come to learn that there are more spirits than just vengeance she has to worry about.
Oh, interesting.
So definitely love the art style, love the way it was drawn. It really kind of goes a couple different places. It really felt almost as three different stories throughout it. But did you say it is a one-shot?
I think it's a one-shot, yeah.
I hope it's not, because I would love to see where this goes, because they get to Earth, and we have a new spirit.
Oh, wow.
That takes hold. So it definitely sets up what I think could be some interesting things, and I would love to see this story continue.
Very cool.
So I think, but from what I'm getting from it is it's really going to pick up in the actual Ghost Rider series. So it just kind of sets the background stage for what's going on there. But definitely a lot of fun. give you some good background, and Mephisto. More Mephisto is always a good thing.
Nobody ever said there's too much Mephisto. All right. Green Lantern, Season 2, Number 1. Grant Morrison, doing what Grant does best. Liam Sharp doing the art. This is 100% if Green Lantern was done Chaos AD style, like in like the British Judge Dredd sort of vein. It's, oh my gosh, it's so cool. The Guardians have decided they need to leave. There's something that they need to attend to, and they've put in charge a new crop of Guardians to be born. And through this process, I'm trying to figure out how to describe this fully without spoiling everything. Hal has been put on task to basically mentor another Lantern that he finds, and you will also probably find a little bit annoying. And in this process, finding out stuff about himself, and then we get these new Guardians, the young Guardians, and there is something very different about them. Their way of looking at things is different. There's a bit of arrogance, and it's got a vibe a lot like the Right Ed Xavier's with Quentin when Grant Morrison was writing X-Men. That's the kind of vibe I get off the Young Guardians. They're not immortal like their predecessors, so I wonder how that's gonna play into it. And Hal is ultimately sent back to Earth. So,
all right,
very, very cool. Decent jumping on point. Like if you just go.
That was going to be my question, because that's what actually I almost picked it up, but then I started thinking, I not caught up on the Lantern run. I didn't know if I was going to need to in order to go into it, so I shied away from it.
Yeah, that was something I was wondering about too. The 3 or 4 issue Black Stars miniseries, which immediately came before this, and then the season 1. You don't really need to. It's as long as you know that Hal Jordan is Green Lantern, you're good to go.
That's all you need.
Yeah, pretty much. This is a toughie because I enjoyed these a lot. Both the Thor and the Marvel's X.
I will agree. However, I think one had a level of epicness to it.
Yes, I would say because this is
that
that
was at times kind of amazing.
Yeah. Let's get Marvel's X out of the way, and then we can feast upon the Thor.
So Marvel's X #2.
Mm-hmm. Alex Ross, Jim Krueger, Welby. This is so nice.
So literally picks up right where we left.
Yeah.
Issue 1, which, if you remember, the boy had got picked up by a mysterious truck driver.
Yep.
Hitchhiking his way to New York because he wants to find out, are there any superheroes left?
Yeah, and
And we were definitely left questioning, who is that truck driver? And we find out very quickly.
I'm very pleased with my guess. And it's cool because the kid is hip deep in a world that he's not prepared for.
He's not prepared for, and he doesn't understand.
Yeah.
He thinks he understands it.
Yeah.
But it's definitely more than he has prepared himself for.
Yeah. Because he's romanticized the concept of heroes and villains to the point that when he's now among people that have those powers, it's really, really cool because he just doesn't. Having a power doesn't necessarily make you a good guy or a bad guy, but in the wrong hands, a power can be a really, really horrible thing.
Well, I think it also goes to show, of course, he's got, like you said, he kind of romanticized this idea that, superheroes are super. It's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's not as okay as he hopes it is when he gets to where he thinks he wants to be.
Yeah.
And then, but we do start to see some familiar faces start popping up and kind of revealing their place in this new telling of the story. Which I don't think any were surprised. I figured this was one of 2, and we ended up getting both of them.
Yeah. So it worked out really well, and it's iconic New York characters.
Yeah.
And it's exactly what you want from a sequel or a prequel rather.
Yeah.
To the Marvels series. Very, very cool. Yeah, just pick it up and buy it. It's good.
Yeah, it continues to be a good ride, and it's gonna continue to get better as it goes along. And last, but certainly not least,
Yeah. Thor.
our Herald of Thunder, Thor number 3.
Donny Cates, Nick Klein, Matt Wilson, VC's Joe Sabino, Olivier Coipel, and Laura Martin. This is just, and also we got Ryan Brown, Dale Keown, and Jason Ketches as additional variant covers. Oh, all right. Donny Cates is just amazing. Like,
It's,
he,
yeah.
this story that he's weaving with, you're right, it has this epic feel to it because the lead-in is just showing the scale that when you're reading or thinking about Thor, what the actual scale is timeline-wise.
Which I feel Cates does a great job. You know, he's moved out to dealing with this at a universal scale.
Yeah.
That's a lot to deal with.
Yeah.
But he does such a great job of putting it in perspective
Yeah.
with those involved with this story.
Yeah.
And there's just, I mean, the art is beautiful. I want this poster right here.
Yeah.
That was one of the greatest.
Because that's, yeah. And just, he's just in the background watching.
So, issue 2, to get you caught up, basically Thor has become a Herald of Galactus. That's combined with him now being the All-Father. So he's the Herald of Thunder. Under the agreement of, because Galactus needs to consume 5 planets, and he agreed, I'll let you do this. I'll help you do this only under my watch because I want to make sure you do it correctly and people, you know, there's not unnecessarily harm done. Yeah. But then at the last issue, after he consumed his first planet, Beta Ray Bill shows up and says, I'm not here to talk to you. I want to talk to the big guy.
Yeah. And what ensues in this issue is basically just one long fight.
Yeah.
But
it's more than a fight. It's a fight with substance. There's so much story told in the dialogue during the fight.
Yeah.
And not in a way that kind of dumbs it down. I mean, it's epic on both scales.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really like a Greek myth or a Roman or a Norse myth. But like as you're reading it in epic poetry or something like the Iliad or the Odyssey, and just the way they're having Beta Ray Bill is having a conversation with Thor, and Thor fully understands the ramifications. Like the universe could die if we don't get Galactus to do these things. Just you have to put your petty stuff, even though it's not petty,
but
because when you're looking for Beta Ray Bill's, his reason for revenge, I totally get, and it is just Thor's trying to show who he really is. Galactus is just kind of, he's not just in the background, but he reminds Thor, like, no, you're my herald right now, dude. And it's just, it's so.
And this was another moment where it was just like,
right? How BA is that? Like,
wow.
Beta Ray Bill, like, just the.
Because you got to remember they're both worthy.
Yeah.
And.
Yeah.
That was another. I mean, there's just so many.
Like, how potent
fantastic.
You have to be able to do that to that, and yeah, it's just so.
And honestly, and it ends
perfectly
with there's no hope of it. You know, you think the next episode could be just as epic because.
Right. Yeah.
This battle isn't slowing down.
Yeah.
And it's not finished yet.
Yeah.
So but love the art. Like, again, love the Cates universe that he has created because he really gets the concept of telling those universal stories in a way that you really feel how big they are.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, like I said, that intro is just does such a good job of putting the scale in perspective.
Like, oh, wow, that really wouldn't be that.
No, not you know, that in itself could be, you know, a series of its own.
Yeah.
But in the grand scheme of things,
it's just a blink
it's
of an eye.
nothing. It's
just,
not even remembered by those involved. So
it's so good.
More greatness.
Yeah, and it's only up to issue 3. Buy the first 2 issues also. Woo.
All right. So
if you enjoyed what you saw today, hit like. We like that. Lets us know that you're entertained. If you disagree or agree with any of us, any of our statements, drop a comment in the comment section below.
Yeah. Then there's that little bell you can click. If you subscribe, you want to know when they're coming out. Every Wednesday, we try to get it out there. Before you even can head to the shop, you'll know what to go looking for. So usually it's Ryan and Vic. Hopefully it'll be Ryan and Vic again next week because I am not comfortable on this side. I'd rather be back over there. But we do what we got to do.
That's it. Thanks for watching.